Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Part 9, Logo Design with Text and Hatch. What we're going to do with this next little mini assignment is kind of play off what we've already learned, only introduce a little bit more on text, command, and have a little fun while we're at it. This is going to be open-ended to where you choose whatever logo, team logo you decide to come up with, or even one of your own. I'm going to demo one. Again, this is kind of an extension on where we've been already, but to also go so far as to include the text command. I want you to have a little bit of fun with this, and it's yet another little segue into Inventor that will really kick off our 3D portion of the class from here on out between Architectural Revit and Mechanical Inventor. So away we go. Now, you're going to choose, I've already chosen a design, a rather straightforward design albeit, but what we're going to basically do is search out either a pre-existing or take off an existing logo that you would like to design and create on your own. Now, obviously, we're not going to be able to necessarily get together in having these made, but I want you to go through the steps in order to have them ready for output should that opportunity present itself down the road. Now, again, all you need is a blank slate in AutoCAD and a search engine open to where you've chosen a logo design if you're choosing. Now, I have one already started, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to order up a blank slate of AutoCAD just like you see here, and I've got nothing going on here in the way of a template or anything else. And then I'm going to pull over this tab so that you can see I was searching out team logos, and in the interest of time I just came upon a vintage old logo of that of the Astros, and if you notice in this browser under images, I came up with a whole slew of them. I just hit on this one because this would be a good demo for our purposes in the interest of time. I click on it, and I could have even gone right from here. If I right click, I could save this image. And what you really want to do is you really want something that supports a JPEG image. And as you can see, I've got it already there. I just click it and save it. Now, in my folder, that file now exists. And what I do from there is I search it out in my browser, or in my Windows Explorer, I should say. And then, going back to my AutoCAD session, I actually highlight that file. As you can see, it's a JPEG file, and I drag it into my AutoCAD session. And I can place that anywhere I want relative to XY00. I'm just going to place it somewhere in this quadrant, and I'm going to hit a scale factor of 1 and an angle of 0. And there you have it. It's a picture file. And a picture file, as you may or may not recall from prior experience, is one that we can actually work with in tracing. Kind of like you'd trace on the board with vellum onto paper. You could trace over this by, literally copy clipping it into your session of AutoCAD. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up into layer properties, and I'm going to add a layer kind of like what you've done before, and I'm going to call this my picture layer, because whatever it is that I create by way of vector lines, arcs, splines, etc., I want to be able to turn that color layer off, or that picture layer off, after I'm done. So I'm drawing on the 0 layer, which is fine. Normally we don't, but in this case it's fine. And my picture is going to be what makes up this entire entity. So if I take that and I move that to the picture layer, move layer to picture layer. Now, if you notice up here, if I hit my layers and I turn off picture, nothing's there. I'm going to turn it back on. And then I just trace over it. So again, I chose this for, expediency's sake. I'm going to go ahead so you can see it, change the color of my zero layer to something really bold like magenta. And so you can see what I'm doing. I'm tracing over the existing. And I'm going to take some liberties with it. First off, I'm going to hit the line command in a way in which I chain. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to turn off my object snap so that I can just kind of like capture this one side of it. And then I'm going to go inside and I'm capture one side of this triangle as well. So go back to the line. And again, you could imagine any number of scenarios in which this will play itself out. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take that existing geometry and I'm going to do a circular array about some center point. And we're going to go 3 items. Well, for one, let me bail out of that. This is where it becomes advantageous to get out of our picture file. So I'm going to turn that off and I'm going to just work with what I have, rotate, or rather circular array, polar array. Apologize. Grab it again, array it, center point. Just going to come down here. First off, before I do that, let me move this so that it's at least in line with this guy above. Now, circular array. And let's go 5. Let's go something like this. That's not bad. Close array. And I'm going to take some liberties here, but as you can see, if I turn on the picture, I've got a pretty good start. Now what I'd like to do is cut off that one leg. So here's how I'm going to do it. And again, I'm improvising for sake of time, but I'm going to take and first off, offset everything by, I don't know, 1015625. Not enough. Let's check one more time the distance here. That's about a ½ inch. So let's go offset 0.25. First we have to explode it. Now try and offset. But before we offset, let's trim this up. Go ahead and again, I'm not expecting you to do anything of the sort to match up to what I have here. I'm just using this as a starting point. And you know, we could chop off one leg or another to make it, you know, a little bit more full of character, but let's go with this for now. Now, I'm going to save it as my logo design. So just call it maybe logo. And so I've got a logo of basically two concentric stars. And then what I want to introduce to you is text command and reintroduce hash. So I go annotate, multi-line text, come down here, and we'll put O'Neill's logo. And then what I want you to do is go ahead and create a hatch. Only as opposed to before when we did the steel hatch, this time I just want you to do a standard hatch, which will indicate color. And the way that works is as follows. Going with the hatch command and picking a solid, you could choose the colors. Like if you look at my original design, it had red. So as soon as I choose the solid command, I can then go to, and you can create a layer if you like, or just toggle it to red. And there you have it. You created a logo. Now, you know the drill. You want to take it from here as a copy clip into Inventor and create a 3D model from that same thing. Now, again, I want you to take and challenge yourself. Obviously, what I've done here is something, you know, rather straightforward based off of this Houston Astro logo design. I want you to, you know, go a little bit further with it than what I did here. But in Inventor, then what you could do is you can, for one, I might want to take and change this to red so that everything's red. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take just the lines that represent this part, Control C, clip them, go into a new session of Inventor, as you know how to do, and this I'm going to blast through in the interest of time just so you can see it. Go to your XY plane, create a new sketch, and Control V it so that you have a finished sketch. Go ahead and, for whatever reason, my one line came in, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit that sketch so as to create that last line, finish the sketch, extrude it by some amount, and be done with it. I want you to get it to the state where you can actually 3D print it or CNC machine it, depending on the nature of the logo. And that's it. You save this off, and you were all the way through from part to part, saving 2 files off that you can now go ahead and turn in to part 9. I hope you enjoy this. Have fun with it, and don't stress over it. Be safe, everybody. And let me know if you have any questions concerning this or anything else. Thanks. Take care.